Hello everyone. Welcome to Exotica Gardens. Let's take a look at the growth of the okra plant with the common mistakes you could make. To begin with, we have two sets of okra plants started, one in smart pots and the other in KRATKY hydroponics. The growing medium here is plain old cocopeat. The seedlings here are just 7 days old from sowing. The net pots are what you would use for hydroponic method. Now it's time to feed them with some hydroponic nutrient solution. This product is an Indian version of the general hydroponics product. Now we are pouring in such a way that the plant root tips can touch the nutrient solution. We have mixed the concentrates with half-strength in water as specified in the product manual. This is what you see in the Coke bottle. Also, we have applied this solution in small amounts to the ones growing in smart pots. Now we have stumbled across our very first problem. The green algae that you see at the root tips is a result of light entering in. Plus, this method of hydroponics is not recommended in hot conditions, especially outdoor. The fix to this problem is to move them immediately into an enclosed medium like cocopeat or soil. This will kill the algae and convert them back into nutrients for the plant. Now this is what you should never do. Overcrowding your plants in a small area will reduce your yield and plant health. I will prove this fact by growing the same age okra plants in individual containers along with these. Also make sure you add some organic fertilizers into the new space before transplanting your little plants. If you need more details about preparing fertilizers into your growing medium, you can refer my other video which is shown at that annoying box. During transplant, wet the plant's growing medium and gently flip them vertically, and shake the setup without applying too much pressure. If the plant doesn't come out, then gently give a series of tapping with your other hand to the bottom of the cup. The next step is called mulching. It is highly recommended you do this if you are growing in summer or hot climatic conditions. In my case, I have these plants in my terrace, so this reduces the evaporation and loss of water from the containers throughout the day. You can use various organic materials for mulching. I use grass clipping and dried leaves, since I have a vast lawn space. You also want to make sure you don't put too much, as this could cause the nutrients to leach from the container. It's okay to use grass clippings to thinly cover the top of your container. In time it will decompose and give out more nitrogen for your plant. I have never seen any weeds sprouting from these, even though some people say this theoretical argument against mulching with greens. As you can see, this set of okra plants are thin, and have just started to put out flowers. These flowers will turn into okra pods in 3 to 4 days. If you see black ants crawling through your okra plants from this stage, do not fear. They are just doing the work of pollination to turn the flowers into fruit. It is clearly obvious by the looks of these okra plants in solo containers that they are far more healthy and productive. Now it's time for our first harvest. Harvest the pods when they are small and tender. The older they get, the harder the pods will be. You can use scissors, a knife, or even your own hands to pluck and collect them. The okra plant could get very tall, even taller than you. In that case, it is highly recommended you tie the plant to a stick. If you prune them, you can increase your yield and life of the crop. In my case, I did none of them, just to show you what happens if you don't. To make things worse, I refused to add enough potting mix to the containers. This has made the containers shallow. The roots of the okra plant grows very deep, but with the very limited space here, they will not thrive. They will also require much frequent watering. At the bottom of the okra leaves you are likely to see aphid larvae, or white-colored particles. If you see any movement, then you need to apply an organic pesticide such as neem oil, or BT. You can refer to my other video on how I use the neem oil spray. Try to do this as soon as you can. The okra plant could get very tall, even taller than you. In that case, it is highly recommended you tie the plant to a stick. If you prune them, you can increase your yield and life of the crop. In my case, I did none of them just to show you what happens if you don't. The next common mistake anyone could make is over-fertilizing. In my case, I added too much of boron and potassium nitrate. Boron is a micronutrient, so it is to be given in dilute and small amounts. If you throw them into your soil, your plants will experience what is called as the boron toxication. I lost several plants including my spearmint because of not testing my fertilizer. It is highly recommended you learn and test on a few before using a synthetic fertilizer. After several days of the fertilizer toxication on my plants, they stopped growing vertically, but to my surprise, they gave outside shoots and subsequent okra pods from there. This is what should have happened if I had pruned them earlier. I have also grown some radishes in that same shallow space, but since they did not give me edible bulb, I let it grow to flower. These flowers turn into seed pods. You can grow more radishes from these seeds. You can watch my other video on how to grow okra in a sustainable way from the growing guide section. Thank you for watching.